that right now being a conscious leader became it's not just a choice anymore. It has to be a must go, because conscious leadership, if we go
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Actionable ESG Talk series brought to you by AKFI Actionable Knowledge Foundational Institute, the world's first nonprofit industry association committed to bridging the gap between ESG, sustainability, and digital transformation. My name is Isabella. I am the co-host of this talk series here with Manuel, another co-host, and also the executive director at the AKFI. Today we have Liliana. Liliana, join us. Hi, Liliana.
Hi,
Good to
nice to
see
Hello,
see you
you.
Liliana.
both. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time and thanks to this talk series, we get to connect with Liliana and many other great minds to together discuss the current state and the future state of ESG, sustainability, and digital transformation. A little bit about Liliana to our audience. Liliana is a visionary leader and accomplished sustainability consultant, serving as the Chief Executive Officer of AMARNA Vida, with a passion for fostering positive environmental and social change. Liliana has dedicated her career to advancing sustainable business practices and conscious leadership. And today, what we're going to talk together with Liliana is on the vision for a change for connecting conscious organizations together. Welcome again, Liliana. Look forward to what we're going to cover today. And to start our conversation, please share with us, what is conscious leadership to you, and what are your thoughts on the current state of conscious leadership trends?
So, first of all, I want to thank you once again for inviting me to be here and to be able to address this topic, which I'm very passionate about. So, I'm really happy to have this conversation with you both and to our audience to know a little bit more what is conscious leadership and the connection with sustainability. And I will start by phrasing Arash Shizoda, which was actually the founder of conscious capitalist movement, to address and set the tone to what conscious leadership means. So basically what he said is that a conscious leader is the one who's committed to making decisions that are for the greater good of all. So this could be a very, like a very big sentence in their profound meaning of it. But actually, what it means is doing good by being better. So the conscious leader is the one that is pretty much self-aware of his role in his own life, the life of others, and to, regarding that position, know how to leave a positive legacy in the world. So basically, what we can say about being a conscious leader is someone that balances their own self-development, the empathy towards others, makes ethical decisions that are based not only what is profitable, but also the impact and the positive impact that has in the world, and is someone that navigates through complex challenges with integrity, inner power, and resilience, but also with a word that sometimes we don't hear so much in business, which is compassion. That's one of the biggest values of a conscious leader. Is someone that fosters a positive organizational culture that has the values of the organization embed in the organization, that listens to all the organization and all its stakeholders and aligns those values with the business itself. So it's someone that proclaims authenticity, talent, and self-awareness. Sorry. It's someone also that we can say, if people know this concept of the 4 Ps, we can say it's the leader that drives the 4 Ps, which means people, planet, profit, and purpose. So it's the driver of the 4 Ps balance. It's someone that navigates and leads the organization having these 4 pillars in mind. And there's a growing, talking a little bit about the trends, there's a growing recognition of the importance of these characteristics that maybe people don't acknowledge so much of the wording conscious leadership, but there's a growing recognition of the importance of the type of characteristics that characterize a conscious leader. Most and foremost among the millennials and Gen Z that are assuming leadership roles, we see progressive tendency and trend inside of these kind of leaders, the younger generations, to put, for example, purpose beyond profit and prioritizing the well-being of their employees, the communities that their organizations work with, and the planet itself. So there's a growing trend, mainly in young generation leaders towards this. Just to give a little bit or some insights that I gather regarding this topic, there's studies that say that 4 in 10 US employees address that purpose is very important inside their organization. So more and more, of course, is still a number, maybe a small number, but more and more we see that acknowledging purpose beyond profit, it's becoming a trend, and giving also a lot of importance on the values of the organization. So there's a rising interest in working self-development, which is one of the things that conscious leaders do, all their employees and the people they impact to mostly, and the communities around them. And through that, generating a positive impact that manifests as a result of it. So that's basically the concept of conscious leadership and the trends that exist right now. No?
Thank you, Liliana. A lot to unpack. Maybe I'll start with the fact that CEOs and executives are still bound by a 50 plus years old edict, if you want, by Milton Friedman, which said that the primary reason and the only reason for companies to exist is to serve its shareholders. So the executives are actually bound by the responsibilities toward the financial part. And we've seen, as you mentioned, we've seen these days the emergency of the 3 Ps. You mentioned the 4 Ps, but the 3 Ps, just to repeat, is the planet, the people, and profits. And
purpose,
also,
yes.
as you mentioned, the fourth one is the purpose. Now, if you can elaborate maybe a little bit more how this maps in today's world, and you already discussed it to some level by generations, how different generations react to that. However, I think there is still a conflicted world for a CEO when he or she has to manage with purpose and with conscience, as well as numbers in finance.
Yeah, Manuel, so you pretty much address what is one of the issues that are in the basis of all this. So, in fact, the majority of the academy related with management, economics, and all teaches to maximize profit. So, in the terms of education, leaders or the people in charge of organizations are driven by profits. That's one of the things that they learn since university, and they enter on organizations on wanting just focus on profit base. More and more, we see that changing little by little, because what we see right now, it's that organizations are facing pretty much a number of challenges that the normal way of leading are not able to address anymore. So since a lot of stakeholders that are in place, because of in majority of organizations have huge supply chains, so dealing with a lot of stakeholders. So that's one of the things. Managing all these stakeholders can be very challenging. There is an enormous number of regulations. So, for example, here related to the European Union, for example, just focusing on the sustainability issue, for example, there is an amount of regulations that are pushing organizations to address other things that is not exclusive profit base. So also this is pushing a little bit and challenging organizations and consequently leaders to have another way of approaching business. There are also these, as I mentioned before, this new generation of millennials, Gen Z, are wanted to engage on organizations that are not only profit based and that are more purpose driven. There's a lot of studies that show up that more and more young generations wanted to engage in organizations that have this purpose and go beyond just profit. So this also are pushing older generations of leaders to have another approach to organizational culture. One other thing is that in the world right now, there's so many ethical issues that are corruption, things like that, that more and more ethical standards from the point of view of the consumer also, they are pushing organizations to engage in other type of standards and being more ethical and conscious. So from the side of consumers, there's a demand also increasing on this regard of organizations that have another attitude. So more and more, there's several challenges right now that organizations face that consequently need that leaders that have another approach to the way they look to organizations. So it's not, of course, this is not straight line, right? So this is in a way is pushing, but also a time to reaction to all this. But more and more what we see is that leaders at least understanding that they are struggling, that the original philosophy of maximizing profit, it's not the response anymore exclusive. We are not saying, or I'm not saying that organizations shouldn't be profitable. That's not the case. The thing is how you address that profit maximization and have other pieces in place that is not just exclusive profit. It's about the other pillars that I addressed before. It's an organization that has the purpose and it's focused on the purpose, and of course profitability comes along with the purpose, because at the end of the day, of course, an organization has to thrive and be financially sustainable. because in the end of the day, if that doesn't happen, the whole thing doesn't work. So it's the challenge is precisely how to balance the thing of being profitable, of working towards the well-being of people, balance with the well-being of the planet, and having the purpose to drive all this in balance. So it's a big challenge. Leaders of today have, in my personal opinion, are have much more challenge to face than leaders from of 20, 30 years or 50 years before ago, because we navigate right now in a world that is more demanding of conscious behaviors, of conscious position, of conscious organizations, and also through that the whole position organizations have to be different. So I would say that right now being a conscious leader became it's not just a choice anymore. It has to be a must go, because conscious leadership, if we go along with the basic principles of it and the real skills to be developed towards it, has a more systemic approach, a more systemic strategy approach, which is totally needed, because we have to see all the pieces in place and it's just not focus in a single piece. It's all about self-discovery too, because it's not the leader and the people as to have to be seen as people, as and not just a number anymore. So also that the personal growth of the leader itself and the people inside the organization is a must, because it's not just numbers, it's people by being people. It's also about what I said before, is making decisions that have in mind compassion, and this could be be intriguing what this really means to be compassionate towards business. This takes in consideration a lot of things when dealing with the other partners, when dealing with the employees. So have this in mind. It's also to blend, and it's not only about analytic data anymore and being very rational. It's also a leader that has the capacity to balance intuition, which is a powerful tool, with analytical data. And again, it's to, and if I would say one concludes this main characteristic, is a leader that doesn't think only short term, that sees the organization as a powerful system to drive positive advocacy in the world. So it's to see their own organization, not only just purely business, but an organization of people that can really address a positive impact in the world and make the difference, and in connection and being an example to others organizations to really drive them to as a full ecosystem of organizations that are creating a positive impact in the world. So it's no more about only the profit of organization making out there and thriving as purely economics. It's much more than that. Since the organization that creates a positive culture, addresses the community by itself, and creates a positive legacy, it's kind of the purpose of it. And through that also serves as an example to other organizations that follow the way and organically work as an ecosystem. As
Isabella travels pretty much around the world. I wanted to ask also if she observed this kind of concern, especially from the Gen Zers and the younger generations, about really leadership with this conscious leadership with purpose. I don't know, Isabella, if you have, I know you attended many events and conferences and talked to many people by now across the continents.
Yeah, I agree with Liliana, and I really appreciate she's sending this message out to the world about how important to address this conscious movement, and it's more needed than ever because the traditional management couldn't move the organization forward with the take on of new generations. I definitely acknowledge that, and I see that across the globe, people are more driven, purpose driven than just profitability. That alone doesn't really motivate people in the essential way. So I definitely agree with Liliana, and I do see this massive wave coming at us. Whether for organization, for people who wants to change, who doesn't want to change, they have to talk about it. Whether it's to fake it or they really mean to change it, they have to talk about it. So that says a lot.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you for addressing that, and more so. And we are in a journey. That's the thing. We are still going through. It's a journey that we are embarking in. It's and we are all learning with each other. I think that the factor of compassion, which I address so much, it's to really have compassion from the state that we are currently in, that we were before, and understanding that and just pushing the best out of it, acknowledging the best out of it, even if there was a damage and harmful things from the things that were done in the past, but still learning from those experiences, the harmful experience that organizations did in the past, understand it, and just pushing it in a direction that makes sense for the future that we are creating now. So I think that's one of the major things that we have to understand at the end of the day right now.
And if we, thank you, Isabella. If we look at, can we draw a line between a conscious leader and a conscious organization? Can we talk about organizations' cultures as being conscious as opposed to, not as opposed, but in continuation of the leadership?